757 to the nearest 10 and to the nearest 100. When rounding, you have to pay attention to the number that is right beside the rounding number. Some of those numbers will tell you to ignore the rounding number, and then some of those numbers will tell you to add 1 to the rounding number. So, if we're rounding the number 757 to the nearest 10, we have to find the number that's in the tens place. So this 7's in the ones place, this 5's in the tens place, and this 7's in the ones place. We're rounding to the nearest 10, so this is the number that's either going to stay the same or be added to. So we look right next door. The number right next door is a 7, which tells us to add 1. So if I add 1 to the 5, that makes that 5 a 6. The 7 has to become a 0 because anytime we're rounding, we have to have a 0 in the ones place. And then this 7 on the other side is just going to drop right down. Now, if you just take a minute and you think about the number 57 in general, and we pull that number 57 out, 57 is actually closer to what number, 50 or 60? Yeah, it's closer to 60. So 757 is rounded to 760 when you round to the nearest 10. Now let's take this number 757 and let's round it to the nearest 100. We said this was in the ones, this 5 was in the tens, and this 7 is in the hundreds. So we're going to look right next door. Again, the number right next door is a 5, which tells us to add 1. So I'm going to add 1 to this 7 and make it an 8, but everything to the right has to become a 0. So the number 757 rounded to the nearest